Welcome to yet another ham radio video. This is K4SWL, and this is the first of the Ambassadors series. So just briefly, I would like to explain how I came up with the idea, why I think this should be done. Unfortunately, a lot of the bad stuff gets a lot of views, a lot of publicity. People behaving badly, the sad hams, the gatekeepers, and that sort of thing. But this is to counteract that. This is to highlight the good things that are happening. And I firmly believe that the good guys outnumber the bad guys by a lot. More than 10 to 1, maybe 100 to 1. I don't know. In my journey in ham radio, I have found so many more helpful people and good intentioned people than negative, troublemaking type people. And yeah, I've heard it. I've heard arguments on the air and things like that. But I'm hoping to do a number of these videos. I don't know how many, just to explain why I'm highlighting who I am today. It's just mostly chronologically who has influenced me, and I'm starting out with the first person that I remember being influenced by. So today we're talking about none other than Thomas Witherspoon, K4SWL. And if you've been around ham radio, if you've been around especially Parks on the Air, and specifically CW operators of Parks on the Air, you have heard of Thomas, most likely, and for good reason. So Thomas, if this makes it to you, just wanted to thank you and give you some recognition of what you've done for the community. And knowing him, and at least as far as I can know him through watching his content and brief interactions, a very humble, down-to-earth person, and probably think he doesn't do a whole lot, but we do appreciate that. So let's just talk about some of the ways that those videos influenced me, and I'll just start with I believe I first found his channel. I had been licensed for less than a year, maybe about 6 months, and I had some interest in doing Parks on the Air, but I just didn't know the procedure of, you know, what do you do? I know you go out to a park and make contacts, but a lot of the details I didn't know. I didn't know what information was necessary to write down, and I didn't know about logging, how to do that, what was accepted, how you upload it, and all of those things. So I'm going to link to a couple of videos of his. I'll try to find that specific video and link to that. But he did a very good job of explaining, and I'll never forget that, you know, he went through the procedure and how to set it up and all that stuff. And like he is so good at doing, he added just a lot of information in a very natural, down-to-earth way that was easy to understand. And I was truly surprised when he said he was going to set up and make some CW contacts. And for me, being new to the hobby and really not knowing anything about CW, I thought, well, this is going to take all day to get 10 people. You know, how are they going to find them? Like, what do people in CW even do? Like, I had no idea. But I remember when he called CQ, it got a pile up, and it was not one, but many people at the same time, and one after another. I'm like, wow, it totally blew me away that there would be that many people that are doing Morse code, and that kind of planted a seed. And I didn't walk away from watching that and say, okay, I want to be a CW op. That's what I want to do. That's what ended up happening, but that was not my initial reaction. But the point being that he gave me enough information through that video to do parks on the air, go out there and do an activation, gave some great advice. And I think many people would agree that maybe he wasn't the very first person to ever film a CW activation, but he really did open the way for so many people, and a lot of people would credit him with CW activations on YouTube becoming a thing. And I know that wasn't really his intention, but nevertheless, a lot of people use it for copy practice. And one of the things about his video is, being a teacher, he's just very natural at throwing in, like I said, a lot of good information in a very natural way as part of the video. So you may be just watching, you know, a video of activating a specific park, but you probably walk away with some real nuggets of whether it's setting up your rig or your antenna or something else. He really has a great way of doing that. Another thing that he really impressed upon me, and you know, I've always been an outdoorsman. I've always been a person who has respected nature and wanted to leave things better off than I found them, if at all possible. And really, I have to credit him with helping form my attitude of, when I go to activate a park, that I don't want to get in people's way. That's how this whole thing came about, as talking about being an ambassador. That's how I view myself, and he was a big influence on me for that, of never wanting to get in people's way, never wanting to bother, always go and ask, you know, if there is officials, if there's anything prohibited, and just being a good steward of your time and being a good ambassador of the hobby. Now, along with all of that, part of why I'm doing this series, part of why I'm filming this way, is he influenced me in that way as well. To me, I like to walk and talk, and when we're filming, it just feels natural. It feels more natural. I feel more connected to the viewers if I'm doing something, because I feel like we're doing something together. So that being said, here's just a glimpse of my town. Here is the Covington County Courthouse, and I know you can see old Marty and Doc in 1955 trying to get back to the future, and we got the clock up there. It's not quite as big, and we've got the movie theater. I suppose you can't quite see it, but that's a movie theater on the square there. But I do really like to see the scenery. That's part of what has shaped the way I do my channel. Is I really love to see the extras, and there's nothing wrong with people, and there's plenty of other people that just click record, call CQ. Many of them don't even say a word, and it's just that. That's fine. Some people want that. Sometimes I want that. Sometimes I just want to practice decoding the calls, and that's great. But like I said, I really do feel the connection to the videos I'm watching, and hopefully you do too, when you get to see all those extra things. And I think all those extra things are really what has made Thomas's channel one of the greats. And again, on the subject of the videos, in Thomas's words, he would say, you get to see how the sausage is made, being that he just, you know, he tries to do them in real time, and just, you know, if there's mistakes or missteps, they're very, very little editing, if at all, and that's a great way to do it. And I would be remiss if I did not mention Thomas's larger focus would be that is qrpeer.com. So that's where he does a blog. He does, like he says many times, he's got more information on there about the activations and the pictures and things of that nature. So if you've never been there, I do encourage you to go check that out and support the work that they're doing over there. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think of this series. I think there needs to be more of this, highlighting all the good things that are happening. I've got a few more, like I said, at least in my mind, of ones I will be doing in the coming weeks. So you can look for these about once a week to 2 weeks, and we will be highlighting everybody who's being an ambassador and bringing good things to ham radio and bringing in new people and helping people feel at home, helping people learn the hobby. So with all that being said, thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. You've watched yet another ham radio video. This is Jay, K4SWL. I hope to see you on there soon.